Happy holidays, y'all. My favorite time of year. But of course, along with all the wonderful things about the holidays, comes the stress of trying to find the perfect gift for all of your friends and loved ones. So I am here to hopefully alleviate some of that stress with what I think or what I consider to be the perfect gift for any runner in your life. Cheers, y'all. How's it going? As we approach the holiday season, of course, we have all of the Black Friday deals, Cyber Week sales, what have you, all of the various shopping deals that they have. Hard to keep track now. There are so many. Usually, I try not to buy anything for myself this time of year, but decided to break that rule and splurge on a little special something for myself. And again, what I consider to be the greatest gift that you can get for any runner in your life. It is something that I have had in the past, but was in need of replacing desperately. So very, very happy to unbox this with you all. And if you're wondering to yourself, did I wrap a gift that I purchased for myself? Absolutely, I did, partially for the show, but it makes opening it so much fun. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside my first official Christmas present to myself of 2022. Again, this is a product that if you've been watching my channel, you're probably well familiar with. You may already have guesses as to what this is, but it is something that I have a really hard time and could not really live without. It has become such a mainstay in my running practice, in my training, comes with me on every single run. And my current pair has slowly been dying with battery issues, and I've been putting off buying a new pair, but the deals were just so good for Black Friday. I decided to go ahead and splurge. And if you hadn't guessed already, it is, the new Shokz Open Run Pros. This is a model I have not tested yet. I have had 4 generations of Shokz already. Again, I am a huge fan, and just to clarify if it wasn't clear, this was something I purchased for myself with my own money. I just really, really believe in this product. I've gotten to test a bunch of pairs that Shokz has sent me in the past, but as I mentioned, my newest pair, the battery has just been slowly starting to go. I think it was just an issue with overcharging it early on. But so decided to upgrade to the newest model. I had tested it at a few race conventions a little while ago and knew that I was eventually gonna buy it. So with the deals going on, decided to just go ahead and get it. If you aren't familiar with Shokz, before I crack open the box, I have all of my older models here. This is actually the first one I tested. These were the Trex Titanium. This is actually my wife's pair, but I think this was the first ever Shokz they released, the first model, if I'm not mistaken. And again, if you're not familiar with Shokz, they're Bluetooth headphones, but the fancy piece about them is that they don't go in your ear. They're bone conduction headphones, so they play audio by vibrating against the bones on kind of like the top of your cheekbone right here, and sending the audio through vibrations into your ear. I don't know the science behind it. I'm probably explaining it wrong, but the audio is perfectly clear. And the nice thing about it, the nice piece about this feature, this type of headphone, is that when you're running, especially in crowded areas, especially when I'm running on streets, or really for me personally, it's where, and running in general, I like to listen to podcasts or music, what have you, but I also want to be aware of what's going on around me. And that is really the main benefit of the Shokz, is that you can hear whatever you want to listen to, but if there's any kind of commotion or noise or something going on around you, you also have full awareness of what that is. The music plays loud enough that it's not distracting, if that makes sense, the outside noise, but again, you are aware of it. So if there's a car coming up behind you, you still have a sense of what's around you. And that's something that's just personally very important to me running, and why I have spent so much time with Shokz. So I got my first pair in 2017, purchased that for myself. I got to test the next model, which was the Shokz Airs. Very, very similar in design, as you can see, a little bit smaller than the original Trex Titanium, hence the Air. They were light like air, a lot more comfortable of a material, and just starting to slowly whittle away at some of the unnecessary material, again, to keep making them lighter and more comfortable over time. Next after that was the Aeropex, which I think was a pretty short-lived model because they very quickly upgraded from the Aeropex to the OpenRun, and now of course they have the OpenRun Pro. So I have never run with the OpenRun or the OpenRun Pros. It says online that they're basically an upgraded version of the Aeropex. You can see a lot changed about the design in terms of the piece that fits over your ear, or fits on the cheekbone right there. Got a lot smaller and kind of, I think also just like more visually appealing with just kind of this little round piece that sits on, but same function, same exact function. Sits on your ears or over your ears, rests on the bones right here, really clear audio. In terms of difference between the OpenRun and the OpenRun Pro, the major thing was a little bit of extra battery life, which is pretty important to me, why I decided to go with this model over the OpenRun. Also with the deals, I was just like, might as well just get the upgraded version. It has quick charge, which also was a key feature for me, because one of the things with the quick charge is, I think it said, for 5 minutes of charge time, you get an hour and a half of running. I love that, because usually I try to charge my headphones right after a run, or if they're starting to get low, just to make sure they're always full. But if I forget or haven't charged them over a few days, it's nice to know that I can just quick throw them on the charger for 5 to 10 minutes, and they should be good for most lengths of the training runs that I'm doing right now. And so that was really the big seller. There are also some upgrades with the audio quality, which is nice. There's like a bass boost in there, and I'll get into some more of those features in a bit. But the battery was really the key thing for me personally, why I decided to go with this model over the traditional OpenRun. So let's just see. They've always had kind of just like a cool, sleek, very modern, minimalist design, something I also appreciate. Get rid of this outside sleeve, just the nice clean black Shokz box. They've also kind of started to rebrand. Instead of AfterShokz, they're just Shokz now, which, take it or leave it, I thought both were pretty cool. But I guess for logo purposes, the short and to the point logo is probably, all you marketing professionals can talk about why that's better than the longer name. We'll get this box out of here. All right, immediately very excited, because all of the headphones that I've gotten come with a carrying case. Too far to get the other one for my old pair, but why I'm saying I'm immediately excited is because in the past, the case has been like a super, super thin silicone pouch, which is good, like saves it from being scuffed up with stuff in your bag, protects them from anything around them, but there wasn't really any structure to the carrying case, so I was worried about packing them anywhere too tightly because I didn't want them to get crushed, whereas this has some structure to it. It's a harder case, so I would feel much better about just kind of putting the headphones in here and throwing them in the bag, knowing they're not going to get crushed by stuff sitting on top of them. So really, really glad that AfterShokz has upgraded the carrying case. We travel a lot as runners, and this just makes it a lot easier to travel, feeling a lot better. Before I open up the headphones, we'll just see if there's anything else in here. Opens up, it looks like we just have user guide, which we can kind of go through. I think I know most of the basics, probably the warranty, and then the charging cables are in here. Wasn't sure if they were in here or in the carrying case. So let's see what we got. Something I am noticing that they don't come with. In the past, they would send you earplugs that come with your headphones. So if you wanted to use them, let's say on a plane or something like that, and you wanted to use those headphones but didn't want to hear everything else that's going on around you, you could always use those earplugs. I never use them. If I'm in that kind of situation, I'm just going to use standard earbuds because I think it blocks out the sound a little bit better than just straight earplugs, but they gave that option as well. I don't know what this is. Some kind of strap that will have to be explained to me because I have no idea. I don't know if it's a headband or what, but we have that. We'll get to that later. And then of course the charging cable. One thing that is nice as they've upgraded, it used to be micro USB, and you kind of have on these older models a hatch right here that you would open, micro USB plugs in here. But another thing that they have continued to upgrade with each model of the AfterShokz is their waterproof status, how durable they are in different conditions. And part of making those upgrades was switching from a micro USB plug-in charger to a magnetic charger again. So just trying to seal up any gaps that there are in the headphones to prevent any water or anything like that from getting trapped in there. So let's clear off some of these boxes. All right, so I decided to go with, they come in a bunch of colors. I decided to go with kind of these slate blue. Immediately love the look of these. Again, very, very similar to the Aeropex in their design. They actually feel a little bit sturdier, like there's a little bit more material in the little piece of the body right here. I'm assuming that's probably where the battery is, extended battery, a little bit larger of a casing. And then the bulbs on the end seem a little bit longer, again, with the addition of that added bass boost. I'm sure that's part of the reason for that there. But just like all the other ones, they fit super, super snug right on your head. They're very, very comfortable. The nice thing is they squeeze just enough to be secure, but I have worn these for hours at a time for full marathons, and I will wear them with the Aftershokz headphones, a hat, and sunglasses. Zero issue with like pain. Sometimes if you have something squeezing right above your ear, over time it gets sore. Like I said, I run races with sunglasses, hat, and the Aftershokz. I wear them with beanies and have no issue with the beanie covering up the back of the headphones either. Despite the design and how they fit, they go really well with whatever other accessories you may be running with. And they're just, I cannot overstate how comfortable they are and how easy it is to forget that you're wearing them once you've had them on a while. They are super, super lightweight. So very, very similar design. Really, really looking forward to just testing out the sound quality to see how much that has improved, because again, that was one of the biggest talking points. Looking at some of the other differences, I can see it looks like, see how, if I can show this in the camera. So there is like a little, almost like what looks like a speaker on the front. I'm assuming that's the microphone, is gonna be my guess, on the front side. And then there's another one on the back side of those bulbs as well, which I'm guessing is a little bit of a speaker with the bass boost. Interested to see how those work. It did talk about with the mic, oh, and they're on the bottoms as well. There's another one. So there was a feature with these headphones. Another one of the upgrades is improving the microphone quality with some noise canceling features. The goal of that being, obviously, a lot of times when you're wearing these, you're out on the run. If you happen to take a phone call, there can be some wind noise, especially if you're running and the microphone's right on the front, so the wind is hitting you right in the face. I know with especially the older pairs, if I took a call when I was out for a run, I would have to cover up the microphones like this so that the people could hear me over the wind. So I am very, very interested to test out how well these kind of dual noise canceling microphones work on the new Aftershokz. So that's just a few of the features noticing right out of the box with the new Shokz Open Run Pros. Again, like I said, I'm just really, really excited to test out, especially the sound quality on the run and taking phone calls, etc. See how all of that sounds. Podcasts is what I normally listen to, but excited especially to listen to some music and see how that bass improves. But in terms of specific features or things you can look forward to with this upgraded set, whether this is your first pair or you're upgrading an old pair, they are 20% smaller than some of the original Aftershokz models. And again, a lot of the new design upgrades are focused on fit and comfort of the headphones. So like I said, whoops, just incredibly lightweight. Some other pieces to take note of. I mentioned they are water resistant now. They're IP55 water and dust resistant, which means not waterproof, but they are safe to wear in any rainy conditions. Any amount of rain should be fine. And then the last piece, as I mentioned, they have those that added bass. This is their 9th generation of their bone conduction technology, and it seems like the biggest upgrade from the jump to 8th to 9th generation was just adding 2 bass boosters in each of the buds. So I'm really, really excited just to see what that sounds like on the run. That is also a feature that you can toggle on and off. If you like it, you can leave it on. If you don't, you can leave it off. I will probably leave it off most of the time because, again, I'm training with podcasts, so there's no need for bass. I believe there is a small impact on battery life. It lasts slightly less time if you're listening to it with the enhanced bass as opposed to if you have that toggled off. But I probably will use it on race days for marathons, etc. when I just want like really, really good quality music, really pump up those jams during the marathon because I take my race playlist incredibly seriously on race day. I mentioned the bass boost has a slight impact on battery life, I believe. All in all, these things will hold up to a 10-hour charge, or you have up to 10 hours of use time. So that means 10 hours of actively playing music, taking calls, etc. 10 hours of active use with them on. When they're in standby mode, if you have them turned on but aren't actually playing anything, you get up to 10 days on a full charge. And then the big thing that I mentioned, like the real peak for me, was that quick charge feature. So if you hook it up to the charger for 5 minutes, those first 5 minutes will give you an hour and a half of charge time. and then it's about an hour to full charge. If you want to charge them up fully, it should only take an hour. So pretty quick charge time. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the difference between the OpenRun Pro and the OpenRun, a full charge is 8 hours as opposed to 10. And then the quick charge time, you need to charge it for 10 minutes to get that first hour and a half of use, if that adds up. But yes, that is the biggest difference. Again, 2 hours might not seem like much, but for me, it's really just being able to go more runs without having to charge them every time, just being able to get as much use out of them as I can. And then also, I do tend to wear these for my ultra marathons. I very rarely actually play anything on them, but if I start to hit a particularly dark moment or anything like that, need something to boost me up, I'll real quick just turn those on, sync them to my phone, and put on some music. But again, it's great because I can kind of have that music playing softly to me to keep me motivated, but then also have the ability to hear my running partner. If he says anything, has any questions, the pace or what have you, can still fully communicate, but also enjoy my music on the run. And I mentioned we've got a magnetic charger. It looks like they moved the charging spot to kind of the back of this little arm here. Super easy, it just hooks on as easy as that. Again, it just very easily locks into place, really nice. And when it's charging, there is an indicator. I'm not sure, I'm gonna guess that this right here, there's a little stripe right next to the Shokz logo. I'm gonna guess that that lights up when you're charging it, and that's the charging indicator. It'll be red while it's charging and switch to blue once it's fully charged. So that's the first look at the new Shokz Open Run Pros. It keeps throwing me off the switch from Aftershokz to just Shokz. I'm really excited to take these for a test run and just see how they sound. I hope that I have sold you on them with some of these features. Again, I don't profit from you purchasing these at all unless you want to buy them from Amazon. I'll drop a link down for that below, in which case I would earn a small commission. But I would encourage you for now to purchase them from the Aftershokz website. They still have a bunch of great deals going on. I think maybe even up to 30% off right now on most of their models. Free 2-day shipping also. And very important, they have a 45-day return policy. So if you're unsure about the bone conduction technology, how that's gonna sound, if you're gonna like it, that was the selling point for me when I got my first pair. I just wasn't sure how I was gonna like it, but they do have that 45-day, no questions asked return policy. So you can always buy them, test them out. If you don't like them, return them. No harm, no foul. So if you are interested in testing them out as well, you can get them on the Aftershokz website. For the Aftershokz Open Run Pros, it's $179.95 full price, but like I said, there's lots of discounts going on right now. You can pay that up front, or you have the option to divide it over 4 equal payments, interest-free, so just divide that $179.95 over those 4 payments. That's the Open Run Pros. If you don't care about the enhanced base and you don't need the extra couple hours of battery life, the Open Runs are $99.95, so significantly cheaper. And again, you have the option to either pay that up front or split it into those 4 payments. So like I said, there's plenty of options. There are a bunch of different models on there. Outside of the Open Run, they have some for swimming. They have some just for everyday life, so take advantage of some of their other options as well, or take a look at what they have. But this is a product I swear by. I feel like every runner should have a pair of these. I have loved them since 2017. I don't think I'll ever go back to another type of headphone. I'm just gonna keep upgrading as they keep releasing new models. So check them out on their website. I hope you enjoy them. And if you have a runner in your life that you are struggling to find that perfect gift for, I think this just might be the perfect thing. But thank you as always for tuning in. I hope you are having a wonderful holiday season. If you're training for a big upcoming race, I hope everything is going fantastic. And I hope you and your family have a wonderful holiday season. Thanks as always for tuning in, and I'll see you around. Cheers.